Hello, everybody. I am here to talk about my COVID experience. I have COVID. Okay, I'm on day 11, so I'm gonna do the little backstory as to how it all happened. No, I didn't get it from traveling. No, I didn't get it from partying or going to restaurants or doing anything like that. Let's go to the beginning. So basically, Thanksgiving is here. We have a very small, intimate dinner. Very small. It was just basically immediate family, me, my husband, my two kids, my sister, her daughter, my stepsister, her husband, and her son. Then we had my other stepsister and her husband. And then we have my dad, my stepmom, my mom, my stepdad, my brother, and his 5 kids. So we have dinner. I set up outside this beautiful little setup with, little candles, and it all looks so nice. We eat, but the wind, it got so windy. We're in Cali, so obviously Santa Ana winds. The wind picked up. It was blowing everything everywhere. So we decided to cut it short. We sat for a little bit in my living room, and then, curfew and all that. So everybody went home basically by like 8. It was very small, very short and sweet. It was great. It was the most wonderful Thanksgiving I've had. But come Saturday, my mom lets us know that she is having symptoms. She doesn't feel well. She finally gets tested. And by that Tuesday, she finds out she's positive. She tested positive for COVID. Her husband's tested positive for COVID as well. Everybody else gets tested. They're all negative. My sister gets tested. She's negative. My brother gets tested. He's negative. They did the rapid test, the finger prick. My dad had done the nasal. Those were negative. My stepmom nasal, those were negative. So we're waiting. She's going through it. My mom's going through it. She's suffering through COVID. We take her supplies, leave them outside her house. Everything's fine. We were great. We were feeling fine up until my mom's day 9 or so of her COVID symptoms, of when she got started with her symptoms. My husband falls sick. He basically has congestion. He has this really, really bad, severe headache, and he's exhausted. He passes out. We think it's because he broke a tooth. He had broken a tooth. He started taking antibiotics to prevent infection. And so we thought it was because of that. Plus, we hadn't slept that well. I think we pretty much pulled an all-nighter, Anyways, come Sunday, my sister starts feeling sick. By then, we had already gone grocery shopping. And then that Monday, I go to Costco. I score Lysol, which is amazing. And then I'm at Northgate at La Gonzales. I'm buying supplies to make caldos. I was going to make a caldo de pollo, and I was going to make caldo de res, so like a beef stew. So I could take some to my mom's so she can have good nutrients, right? So she doesn't have to cook either. But I'm at Northgate, and I start feeling nauseated. Really tired, extremely exhausted. I can't really describe it. I was just exhausted, and I call my sister and I say, you know what, I'm not feeling well. I need to get the hell out of here. I pay, and I come home. I have this huge migraine by the time I come home, and I start feeling like I'm gonna pass out. Basically, I don't feel well at all. I managed to make dinner. I make a big pot of just chicken soup, caldo de pollo, and then I'm down. I'm out. I took, I think it was like Motrin, ibuprofen, 800 milligrams for my headache, and I'm down. I'm feeling awful. By then, my husband was already developing a cough, and my sister also has really bad headache, chills. By Monday night, so technically that's my day 1, that Monday night, okay? By Monday night, I think it was like December 11 or something. It was last week, December 11th. I start feeling cold, super, super cold, shivering like crazy. I kid you not, I have never shivered like that ever, not even when I lived in Colorado. I was so cold. My face was so pale. My skin was so pale. I was exhausted. I pretty much shivered all night, just like teeth chattering. That's how much I shivered. all night. Then I had fever. I started with my fever. So basically, day 1 to 3 for me, fevers. By day 3, I decided to get COVID testing because it was already, probably, it was most likely COVID. That's what I thought it was. We get the nasal swab, send it into the lab, we wait results. By day four, I start feeling less of a headache. I'm still exhausted. I am still dizzy, kind of like an out of body feeling. So basically, I felt like it wasn't really me. Like I really wasn't feeling. If I looked too quick like that to my right or my left, I felt like a little woozy in a way. Like it was basically out of my like I was out of my body kind of experience, I guess. So that's basically day 4, 5, and 6. I still continue with my hot flashes. I still continue with just kind of feeling feverish. My fevers went to 103, 102.1 within that range, and then they would drop to like 95, 96, just low grade. So just basically up and down, up and down. My joint pain. My joint pain has been so bad. I cannot tell you, like it felt like I was having pins or needles just stabbing through the bottom of my feet, my legs, the back of my back, my arms, my little joint, my fingers. I couldn't even move my fingers even to pick up my flask. Oh my god, it was awful. I couldn't even pick this up because I wanted to cry. It was so heavy. um that was day 4, 5, 6. And then also very sensitive, and I lost my sense of smell. My sense of smell went away at like day 4 and 5, and my sense of taste went away at like 4 or 5, day 4 or 5. By then we had results, we had tested positive, so we just self-quarantined. 3 adults in my house, me, my husband, and my sister, were all positive. We didn't test the kids because for the most part, kids, I mean, they're troopers. They're not even showing symptoms. They were up and about like nothing had happened. They were totally not phased. So the whole time we're wearing masks at our house. We're cleaning like crazy and just taking turns. If I couldn't get up in the morning, my husband did. Started off on breakfast and school. If my husband couldn't do it, my sister did. If my sister couldn't do it, I did. So we're just basically like just filling in here and there. And everything was yes. They could eat whatever they wanted. They did whatever they wanted. So they were loving it. By day 7, started feeling a lot better. My cold symptoms had started to go away because I also started cold symptoms like congestion, headache right here, kind of like if I had a sinus infection. That started like day 5 or so. But by day 7, that started getting better, but I still felt tired. Everywhere I sat down, if I sat down on the couch after breakfast, I would end up passing out. I couldn't stay awake for the life of me during the day. And then at night, I'm still sleepless. Look at my fucking bags. Look at the bags under my eyes. The swelling in my eyelids are a lot better, but like it seemed like my nose was swollen. It seemed like my eyes were like poofy. And then now with their bags, I broke a nail. But right now their bags, they're kind of like sunken in. Before they were poofy. They were like poof. It was bad. I just did not recognize my face. I didn't recognize the color of my skin tone. It was nasty. Now I'm on day 11 today. So as of day 10 and today 11, I am feeling a good 85 to 95% better. My taste isn't here 100%. It's like at a 70. Sweet things I can taste okay. Spicy things, it sometimes tastes a little sour or vinegary kind of. And my sense of smell is not here. So, I mean, for me, my guilty pleasure is opening up the Vaporu and just, but I can't really get it. Like I can feel the freshness when I put it on, like that cold feeling, but I don't get any smell from it, which is pretty sad. But yeah, that's my COVID experience. I wanted to share it with you guys, and I hope that everybody's taking precautions. And I understand that this thing is, something we can't really see. We can't really tell exactly who has it, who doesn't. And for the most part, sometimes some people get exposed one day and they start showing symptoms right away. I mean, us, it wasn't the case. We got exposed. We started showing symptoms on like day 9 of exposure. But it takes up to 14 days. Thankfully, this whole time we've been quarantining at home. We've been wearing masks at home. Our kids are fine. They're not showing any symptoms. And we've had family members that have been amazing. They have brought us more soup, chicken soup, camaron, caldo de camaron. It's just been amazing, and I'm so fortunate to have the family that I have. Thankfully, they're all negative so far. Nobody tested positive, and no one's showing symptoms. So that's really nice. I'm happy to hear that. But yeah, I'm just hoping that people are careful. You know, like take one for the team and stay home this holiday season. Just until we have either the vaccination for our elderly or for high risk, for mostly our parents, um, so that we're able to celebrate these same holidays in 2021 with them. Like it's gonna suck. I'm not gonna be able to celebrate Christmas and New Year's or even my birthday with any of my other family members that don't live in my household. And it's sad, but I get why some people don't survive this. I get why some elderly just can't really get through that part. Those first 3 days for sure were awful. Awful. They're the worst. I've never been as sick. And I've had bronchitis before, and I've had pneumonia, and I've had walking pneumonia. I've never had the pain that I had, the shivering to go all night straight, just shivering, your body uncontrollable. Like I couldn't control myself. I couldn't control it. I had to like have my mouth open so I wouldn't chip a tooth. Like this shit's serious. And I just hope I can bring some light and kind of tell you from my experience. And just because someone has COVID doesn't mean you have to shun them out of your life and do all this dramatic thing. I mean, it's not an STD. Like nobody should be ashamed of it. And I'm not ashamed of it. Hell no, I'm not ashamed. Anybody asked me and I fucking told everybody, I'm not feeling well. I have COVID. These are my results. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But I just hope that I can bring some light and just hope that we're all mindful. Maybe I'm fine now and I survived it, right? Or I'm young. I'm only 31. I'll be 32 in a week, 2 weeks, a week. So, but maybe that 82-year-old won't survive it. Maybe that 90-year-old won't survive it. Maybe your diabetic dad, my dad's diabetic, maybe they won't survive. I don't know. Like everybody's organism is different. Here's another funny thing. My husband's symptoms were different than my symptoms. I got more sick in one sort of way, and like he had that persistent cough. He had a really bad cough. I didn't have any of that. I didn't get a cough. But he didn't get the chills. He didn't get, the severe shaking that I got. And my sister also has the really bad severe cough, so bad that she's on a nebulizer. We're using our nebulizer that we have for our kids because of their asthmatic symptoms. She's been using a nebulizer. My husband didn't have to use a nebulizer. I didn't have to use a nebulizer. So you could be 3 young people. My sister's only 29. I'm 31. My husband's 33, 34, 34. And 3 people, 3 adults, 3 different symptoms, 3 different severity of the symptoms. So we all had, we all felt different. Similar age groups, and we're young. So I can only imagine somebody that's older, somebody that has severe complications or health problems, someone that has cancer, like it just so many things come to my head, and I'm just like, wow. And I know that a lot of people exaggerate. Even me, I was like, well, if it gets me, whatever, I'm young, so but fuck, it was hard. It was so hard. You just sit there and you're just like, fuck, You just want to cry because at that moment, for me, in my situation, myself, my symptoms had me feeling that way. Some people just don't get any symptoms. Some people might have a small cold. Other people just end up with just a cough and that's it. But it doesn't mean it's not real. And it doesn't mean it's not going on. Now, Orange County, their hospitals are bad. Am I there? No. I hear it's bad. We've lost so many people. Like, again, I don't want to be one of those people, but fuck. I know what I went through, and I know this shit's real. And it wasn't like a flu for me. It wasn't like a bad cold for me. It wasn't like a bad headache for me. It was bad. It was horrible. And I'm just so happy that I'm way better now. And I hope that you guys don't catch the shit. I hope that you guys are able to get your vaccine, or I hope that there's some type of herd immunity eventually, if the majority gets vaccinated. Or I hope that if you do catch it, I hope you don't get symptoms like I did. So just be careful out there, everyone. And I hope we're all good. And that was that. That was my experience with COVID. So yeah, thanks for listening.